everyone. My name is Lorraine Thornton from Galway Racecourse Education and Training Board. I'm actually based in the training centre in Merview in Galway City, and I'm the Employer Engagement Officer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little overview in relationship to who GRETB are, and also I'm going to focus really on a really, which I think is a wonderful initiative, which is to support employees and employers in relation to upskilling. And there's funding, a lot of the time it's free funding as well, okay? So I'll borrow down into that as we go along. But really, what I want to kind of give you an overview is the Galway and Roscommon Education and Training Board. Some people might be familiar with what used to be called FOSS, and even where I'm actually based now in the Merview Training Centre is the old FOSS building, just up near the Crown Plaza's just about to be built. And really what happened was in 2013 was that FOSS merged with the Vocational Education Committees, the VECs, and they have then merged to become the Education and Training Boards. So we're Galway and Roscommon. We have a very big remit in relationship to the two regions that we provide education and training for, okay? So just to even give you an overview really of our provision. We have 40 centres in both Galway and Roscommon. So we even have centres out in the Aran Islands as well, so we have a very broad spectrum of delivery. And really, what I want to kind of focus in on really is in relationship to the courses that we have as well. In Education and Training Boards, we focus on levels 1 to 6 on the National Framework of Qualifications, okay? I've got a slide in a moment that will kind of show what those are. But levels 1 to 6, so for example, level 5 would be classified as your Leaving Cert, okay? Level 6 then would be your Advanced Certificate, okay? So the scheme that I'm going to talk about caters for all of those levels as well. Just to give you an idea of some of the courses that we provide at GRETB, we have a lot of part-time courses which are very flexible for people in the workplace as well. We have evening courses, and we even have courses that run in our Merview Training Centre on a Saturday as well, which is great when you are in employment, but also if you're looking for work as well. So we have evening courses and Saturday courses. These could be in anything from supervisory management, for example, training and development. We could have areas in continuous improvement in manufacturing, for example, reception and frontline office skills. But all of these courses can be accessed online through www.fetchcourses.ie. And that's a really good website for you to be aware of. So that's www.fetchcourses.ie. You can go and put your subject area and then your geographical area, your location. It'll give you all the listing of those courses that are available to you. Okay, so it's a really good go-to website. What we also are involved in as well is for those in employment, for example, is what's called recognition of prior learning. So you might be in a job, say for example as a receptionist, you could have 10 years experience as a receptionist, but you might not be certified in that area. What we can do is we can do what's called RPL, and we can work with you to produce a portfolio to actually get you certified, which is really, is a very attractive option for people. What we're working in as well is in the area of blended learning. And blended learning is wonderful as well when you are time poor, because you can access it at a time and a place that suits you. Okay, so that's another option that we have. And again, all the 40 centres that we have make sure that we have location for everyone. I'm also working with employers and I'm providing bespoke delivery, so actual training courses that they actually require based on their needs as well. Okay, so there's the other options. I suppose what we're very more familiar with is our traineeships and our apprenticeships. So the traineeship there is the work and the learn. What that means is you have a mixture between being in the classroom and then you might have, say for example, a 12-week work placement opportunity. That's the traineeship. Downstairs we've got our stand, and on the stand you'll see the many traineeships we have. For example, we've got one starting soon which is in film media production traineeship, which is a bilingual program in English and Irish. We've also got traineeship in engineering technology, for example. We're going to have a new traineeship in aquamarine. So downstairs you'll see the list of all of the courses that we have. We also have what's called the Earn and Learn. I don't know if you've heard that term before, that's used for the apprenticeships. Traditionally, if you think about apprenticeships, you might think about maybe plumbing, or you might think about the electrical apprenticeships. There are craft apprenticeships, okay? They're at level 6 on the framework. What we have now introduced in the ETBs is what's called these new apprenticeships. And here you can see, for example, there's a mixture between on the job and off the job. So you might have a block of learning on the job, then you might have a block of learning off the job. We've just got a new traineeship starting. It's actually in auctioneering and property services, which is something that's quite interesting. You know, it's a real difference, isn't it, you think, from traditional apprenticeships. And there, the first most, you are an employee, so you have to be employed to be on an apprenticeship program, okay? And then what happens is your employee then works, that you have block release, and you have time then to actually go for the academic part of your course, okay? So we've got an array of apprenticeships. We've got commis chef apprenticeship, for example. We've got apprenticeships, I suppose, .ie is the best place to go to, that you'll be able to see the whole list of the apprenticeship courses that we have. Okay, so this then is, people might be familiar with this FAN, as it's called. It's called the National Framework of Qualifications, the NFQ. And as I mentioned to you before, in education and training boards, we deliver in relation to levels 1 to 6. Okay? You'll find then the institutes of technology, they deliver from level 6 to 10, and the universities then will go from level 7 to 10. Okay? For the first 3 levels, what we have is we have an initiative called Skills for Work. So for people maybe with lower literacy in relationship to maths or English, or also in relationship to digital literacy, they can avail of what's called Skills for Work. Okay? So this is for people in employment that can avail of free training and supports in relationship to upskilling them in relationship to their literacy levels. Okay? The levels then 4, 5 and 6 are being currently covered by this new initiative, which I'm going to explain to you now. You might have heard it, it's been advertised a good bit on the radio recently. It's called the Skills to Advance initiative. Okay? I'm actually really proud to be part of it, because it's something that I feel is really missing in relationship for employers and employees. So this is the Skills to Advance initiative. It's funded by Solace, and really it's an initiative that's for A, the employee, and B, the employer. So firstly, the employee, for example, you could have a Bachelor of Arts degree, but you could be working in medical devices, okay? Maybe just you didn't find an opportunity after you graduated, but you did find an opportunity in medical devices. It's not exactly what you have qualified for. That's fine. What we can do though, we can actually then upskill you in relationship to medical devices, okay? So you might be able to come on one of our evening programs, a continuous improvement in manufacturing program, for example, which is at level 5. And that will be fully funded for you, so you won't pay any fees at all for that course, okay? Because the idea is that we're upskilling people to make sure that nobody is left behind. That's the whole idea of this scheme. It's really as well for people that would be lower skilled within industry as well, to make sure that they are equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills to be able to survive really in industry. So that's the element. So for the employees, so for example, we'd have a lot of people, say for example in the Galway Technical Institute, I don't know if you're familiar with that, it's one of our centres in the Claddagh. You can avail there of a part-time course there at level 5, and that will be fully funded for you. Again, the same in the Merview Training Centre. When it comes to level 6, there is still funding, but it's only partially funded. Okay, so this is directly for an employee. you will actually receive 70% funding and you'll be paying the 30% yourself, okay? That's for level 6 only, okay? So that's at the advanced certificate level. But as I mentioned, if you did level 5, that would be fully funded if you directly access an education and training board. Okay. In relationship to the employer, there's actually 3 routes. So I've just explained the first route, route 1, which is the direct employee access. The second route is specifically for small and medium enterprises. And I just actually had a question actually just before I started from somebody who's self-employed. Would they be able to avail of this funding? And yes, you would as well, okay? So small and medium enterprises are those that employ less than 250 employees. And really, it's to support our SMEs in industry to ensure that they can actually meet the skills development of their employees. So what we can do through Route 2 is I'm actually meeting employers, for example, working with them, doing a training needs analysis with them, which might come up, there's certain areas, for example, that might come up that they have a requirement for, say, their production operatives to go on a course, say, for example, in team leadership. So that's something that might come up. So we can directly provide that training. Maybe it might be 1 day a week or something like that. And again, that course at level 5, that would be fully funded for the employers. Okay, so it's a very, very attractive initiative to make sure that everything is accessible really for our employers and consequently our employees. The third route is Route 3, and really what that is it's a kind of a regional approach. It's more of a sectoral approach. So you might have, say, companies, for example, engineering companies, and you might find by doing the training needs analysis that they've all got similar needs, but we do have the requirements because they are all certified that we have to adhere to. So, for example, quality QQI, which is our one of our certifying bodies. So in some situations it can be 1 day a week for 10 weeks, for example. Okay, but it's just wonderful to know that you can change from one area to another as an employee, and that you can avail of free training as well. So what I've got is I've actually got some packs here, and I've got some packs downstairs as well that provide more information, in particular to the Skills Advance initiative that can help you. We've also got some brochures downstairs which kind of go into as well all the different courses. But I really would advise you to go on to www.fetchcourses.ie, that's FETCH courses.ie, and that can really navigate you around in relationship to what your needs are. So from an employer's perspective, this initiative is to make sure that our small and medium enterprises are able really to provide the training and education requirements for their workforce. So if anyone has any questions at all, I have packs here that I can give out to you, and also you can contact me directly, or there's a team of us in employer engagement that you can contact us through our general email account. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask? Hi.
You mentioned GRETB, you mentioned Solace.
Yeah, Solace are funding this initiative. So Solace are the funders behind the Skills to Advance. GRETB is Galway Racecourse Education and Training Board. For example, you're going to have different education and training boards. You'll have Mayo Sligo Leitrim Education Board, Limerick Clare Education Board, Dublin Dunleary Education Board, but we're funded by Solace. Yeah. That's right, yes. You did actually, that's exactly right, yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of work done on that actually. I wasn't in employment with the ETBs then, but say for example Donegal, because it's such a large region, it's just Donegal ETB, you know, they didn't kind of merge in with Sligo or anything. So I suppose traditionally we would have, when we were forced, we would have kind of married with Mayo. And I suppose like G and IT, that geographically they have Galway and Mayo. But whatever way the powers that be had the map in front of them, we're Galway and Roscommon. So it's a big remit for us, it's a big area. There's 40 centres. That's our ETB. So it depends on where you're located in the country, you'll have other ETBs then that will provide the courses in your area. Any other questions? Okay, so really I suppose the main thing is this is for people in employment. Normally, traditionally, it's always been about training those that are unemployed for employment. Okay, this initiative is different. This initiative is for those in employment to ensure that they are provided with the opportunities to enable them to progress within their industry. You know, so that's really the emphasis really of this initiative, which is the skills to advance. So please, you can talk to me one-to-one if you want to, or feel free to contact me if you've got any other questions, okay? There's packs downstairs as well as the stand, all right? So thanks a million for your time.